Well, firstly, I am filming myself, so apologies, you are at arm's length right now because I'm in my kitchen trying to sort out a mountain of gear. As you can see behind me, there's cameras, there's batteries, there's all sorts of stuff going on at the table there. I've got a rucksack to sort out, rods, and loads of stuff still to sort out in the garden because tomorrow we are going on a fairly short trip, but a really exciting one because we're off to Belgium to fish the industrial and rural canals. Never been to Belgium before, and in fact these European adventures have really gripped hold of me and Mark at the moment. We dipped our toe in it last year, and I tell you what, it's ignited a passion to explore what the rest of the world has on offer. I mean, when I think back to carp fishing sort of 30 years ago, I can remember riding my bike to venues locally, and every trip felt like a bit of a voyage of discovery because I genuinely didn't know what I was going to catch. You know, I could catch a £5 common, I could have caught a £20 mirror. I mean, that would have been a colossal fish at the time. And I can remember sort of riding home, telling my mum and dad what I'd caught. But every single trip was kind of tinged with that element of mystery. I genuinely didn't know what I was going to catch. And I can't help but sort of feel when I go to Europe, it's exactly like that. And I feel it's so magical to have that element of mystery back in my angling. Because here in the UK, it's natural as you get a bit older, a few more grey hairs for sure, but you get an understanding of what you're fishing for, don't you? The lakes that you get familiar with, you know what fish they contain, you know the sizes of the fish, you often know when they last come out. But I guess when I sort of head over the channel and fish some of these European waters, I have no idea what I'm going to catch. And for that reason alone, it's addictive. And that voyage of discovery is something that I desperately want in my angling. And that's the reason tomorrow I'm going to be getting up at 3 AM, going to be jumping in Mark's van, and we are heading over to Belgium for a little adventure in hope that we might catch our first Belgian carp. So I'm going to put this down because it's bloody aching at arm's length, and the next time I check in, I will be in Mark's van heading to Belgium. See you tomorrow. Well, we are off, but I must add, we didn't read the fashion script. I have got, let me have a look, a burgundy hoodie on with some green trousers, I must add. And if I look to my right, mate, we couldn't look any more similar if we tried.
I know. We have to get dressed, mate, when we get there. When we get to Dover, we have to get dressed.
Mate, we're going to have one of us is going to have to change. Yeah, that is disgraceful. We look exactly the same. Oh well, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, it's good.
You've had about 30 yawns today. How many yawns you had on the way down?
A lot.
Because you've been yawning, and I've been sneezing, so...
Yeah, you've been sneezing, I've been yawning.
Another yawn! Mate! Mate, you're still yawning!
Mate, that's because I've been up doing it, haven't I?
Well, we thought we'd bumped into a carp angler already, but clearly this guy's got a method feeder on. And he may be, what, barbel or something, Mark?
Barbel or breaming or whatever.
Breaming, whoever breams.
I'm breaming today.
Yeah, how are you getting on? I'm breaming.
I'm breaming, mate.
Any breams?
Mate, there's not breaming.
Mate, there's bream everywhere.
Mate, the adventure starts now. Well, I say starts now, it's probably going to start in about 20 minutes time by the time we've unpacked all this mess. Look at it. Rammed.
Mate, it's rammed. You fitted that in all like Jenga.
No, it's terrible packing really, isn't it? But
I can see a bike wheel.
Yeah,
buried under all that.
There's definitely a bike in there, look, somewhere.
I'm not too sure my rods have withstood the journey. What's that? That's that bike wheel, is it?
That's me horn, isn't it? That's me horn, that's my carp horn.
Oh, mate.
That sounds when we see one or we catch one.
Mate, alright. Never heard that before. Right, let's make some sense out of this because it's taken a bit of a battering, jumping over all these speed bumps on the river. But we're here. It's a river. And it's a big river. It's 12 kilometres, I believe, between locks. Sparsely stocked.
fairly difficult, Mark, he said, didn't he?
Yeah.
But there's a chance of a real unknown giant.
Yeah, so we're dropping on here for a night, I think, aren't we? And we're going to go on to some canals after. But for a night, mate, yeah, why not? Why not?
Let's go, mate. Let's go.
Well, what seems like we had loads of time, classic first night syndrome, the night just runs away with us, doesn't it? But as you can see, there's a couple of rigs ready to go out, and we're really excited. This river, I believe, doesn't get fished a lot by any UK anglers, so we feel really privileged to being shown the spot. The fish have only just started to be caught. This year has been really cold with the floods, etc. But our friend has mentioned that a couple of fish have been out recently. It's by far... It's not an easy venue. You know, we'll be lucky to get a fish tonight between us. But you know what? It's all about the anticipation. We're here, we're going to have a barbecue. And as you can see, I'm fishing rigs very different to what I'd usually fish at home. These are 24mm Atlantic Heat bottom baits, tipped with a Scent from Hell pop-up on one. And on the other, something that we're playing around with, a little spicy number. Might see these in the future. And what I'm going to do is spreading 24mm boilies around the area with a stick. One over on the far bank and one into the middle of the river. The baits have been sort of doused in hot fish oil, so hopefully kick up a little bit of a scent as the flow gently goes from left to right. And you know what? It's a start. It's a start, and we're going to sit back, enjoy the evening, and try and assess what we have in front of us. By all accounts, they don't show either, so it's not as if we're going to see any fish. It's a bit pot luck. Never seen the place before, but hey, got a couple of these little weapons to go out. And I'm looking forward to sitting back behind two rods for our first night in Belgium. I'm going to change to a bigger lead because, as Mark said, I think that flow is going to interrupt. So, let's have a look. Right. That's it. Boom. That's it. That's him. Lovely. Oh. That's a bit of a skim on that one.
Mate, that first run was bionic.
Ferocious. Oh, it's gone.
Oh no.
Cut me off.
Did it cut you off?
Yeah.
Oh no, Mark. Oh.
Gutted. Oh no.
Mark. Oh.
Well, on this occasion, it wasn't actually a cut-off. It was a simple case of an unlucky hook pull.
Have you calmed down?
Just about. Mate, that was savage.
What do you reckon you hooked?
Well, I reckon that was a mermaid myself.
Mermaid?
Mate, it goes into the sea, doesn't it? That was savage, whatever that was. That was crazy.
It was ripping and your rod was jerking out your hand.
Just it was crazy, man. I don't know, I thought I was like shaking. Do you know what's nice about this? Because it's a river, it actually smells with that algae, you know, where it's got to rise and fall the river. It smells a little bit like the Bristol Avon where I grew up, and it's sort of got that reminiscence of when I was a little boy. And then hooking that thing, wherever it was, that mermaid took off. Yeah, it's cool, mate. But bloody hell, I was shaking. I was actually physically shaking. But yeah, lost it, gutted, hook pull.
The adventure could have been a great start.
Mate, just didn't expect it, did we?
But to drown your sorrows, there's a barbecue on the go there.
Yeah, life is good, mate. The sun's just come out.
And the sun is setting in the horizon. Rods down there. Mark's on the left. Does you just see the tips? Mine on the right. Far bank, middle. Mark's far bank and down this line here. Yeah. Life feels good.
It is, mate. Got
Sun on your face.
a couple of kilos of Atlantic Heat and Cremina over the top.
What's even better
is we're fishing right out the back of the
I
van.
know, it's lovely, isn't it?
Can it get any easier?
It's peaceful and not another, apart from Chris, not another carp angler.
Not another angler in sight, as far as the eye can see. We just had to re-sort out of the van because there's going to be a lot of moving over the next few days, so everything we don't need or not going to need for a few days has been put at the front, and everything at the back, hopefully we can get it out quite easily on our next move, which is tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so we're off to a canal tomorrow, but it'd be nice to try and get one from here, wouldn't it? But I don't know, hopefully that isn't the last and only chance.
We'll see, mate, we'll see.
Yeah.
Treated to a special beer tonight.
It is nice, see?
Well, thank you, Chris.
Cheers.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Look at that. Hope you catch one.
Well, as the sun set in the distance, it was wonderful to be fishing on the venue with that little bit of mystery. We went to bed that night, I'm not going to lie, full of anticipation.
Morning.
You sure?
Dear me.
Bloody hell, mate. Barry White was in the house.
Jeez, I need a drink to wet the whistle. Well, unfortunately, last night was pretty uneventful, wasn't it? It's but then again, we woke up in the morning. Well, I woke up and screamed over to you like, Mike, you thought I had a fish.
I'm stumbling around to grab the camera.
Yeah, and it was because there was a huge boat coming through, which would have wiped out all of our lines, and we had to make a mad dash down to the rods to winch him in out of the way. But when I winched him in, I noticed my lead, where I had the fish, I had the bite from on the far bank, had been moved like, I don't know, 40 yards down the river. So I don't know what happened there, but there was quite a lot of debris on the line, so I think it dragged the lead. I had a couple of bleeps in the night, but yeah, a bit unfortunate. But yeah, apart from that, Mike, it was pretty quiet, wasn't it? So
Yeah, and the boat, so say, shouldn't be coming through this section until 10 AM.
yeah,
So if we'd have had a lazy morning, we'd have probably lost, as you say, about 200 quid worth of braid.
we would have, but hey ho, never mind. We are going to fire up a bit of breakfast, cup of tea, and then we're going to go on to, I think, a canal stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting, this river. We'll probably be back here at some point, not this session, but probably next year or maybe later in the year, because holds a bit of mystery, which is nice.
Pre-baited, mate. That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to put. You got lucky yesterday and had a bite straight away, but I think if you can, like you said, Mike, put some bait in and we'll come back a few days later, then you've got nomadic fish moving through, haven't you? Hopefully that does a what? Unlocks the door anywhere, doesn't it? So.
Cool. Get that kettle on, mate. Nice coffee cup. Nice cup of coffee is like the amber nectar and
Mate, I'm having
kickstart.
I've got my Earl Greys all the way over from the Cotswolds.
Keep them to yourself. Right.
Well, a little bit treacherous on this path. You've got bikes zooming past here at some of them quite a high pace. But yeah, you've got to keep your wits about it, especially your rods.
You mean I wouldn't be able to give them a race in our bike?
Well, mate, the Flash might. Some of them are electric though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some of them, to be fair, some of them are pedalling, they're going through quite through. But I think on the Flash, mate, you'll give them a bit of run for the money.
Nothing wrong with my bike, mate. Morning.
Well, I think that's it, mate.
Yeah,
It's time to hit the road.
it is. Yeah. Never mind, mate. Never mind. We'll be back.
I didn't realise you had steps here.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Luxury.
I had treacherous rock cliffs. That's all right. Such a shame, but the boat traffic has started about 4 hours earlier than we anticipated.
Yeah.
We've already had to recast 2 or 3 times because of the boats. So it's time to go.
It is. Yeah. Never mind.
I think it's another conundrum though why this place doesn't get fished that much, because I don't think you can effectively fish it for the majority of the week, can you?
You can't. Not all those boats coming through. They like
Wipe you out.
proper vessels, aren't they? Huge.
And it's every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, time to winch them in and get on the road to our next destination. Although I do say, you caught a bag, you lost a mermaid.
Lost a mermaid and nearly hooked a personal best boat.
Not a bad night's work,
Yeah.
but it could have been so different. Fine lines between success and failure. Mate, that carp could have made the trip, couldn't
It
it?
could have. Yeah. Landed it in the first 10 minutes.
Oh well. Let's not dwell on it. We've got another adventure to have. Let's winch these in.
Oh.
And the most vital ingredient for a good old trip is the old barbecue, and then we're off. And that is a wrap. Let's go.
Right, we're off.
Yes, mate.
We're off. Well, we've had a poor night, but Mike looks like he's had a good night. What is that?
Oh no, mate! Why'd you zoom in on that?
Mike's had a great night, hasn't he? What's been going on?
Mate, I got so excited about fishing Belgium that I couldn't help myself this morning. Mate, of course it's not. It's bloody toothpaste. I was cleaning my teeth, as you've seen, and a massive barge come along, and I was like, ugh! Spilt it everywhere, ran down to the rods, and now I've splurged myself.
Yeah.
Trust you to get that.
Yeah.
Get in the bloody car. Let's
make
go.
sure you wash your hands.
Well, as we left the river, our next destination would be an old, disused canal. But en route, we decided to stop off at an industrial bit of canal and put some bait in. This would be a very similar theme for the rest of the week. We were going to bait this section of canal for 3 days on the trot with at least 5 kilos of boilers. From what we were told, you have to really stop the fish in their tracks. They're pretty nomadic on these industrial canals. But today was the first day that it's seen plenty of Atlantic heat and cremino, and we put it out with a big cobra spoon. Yes, it felt a little bit odd, but we were told to get it in quickly and to stop them in their tracks. That was the best way. So that bait was doing its job, and we headed to a lovely bit of canal, what I can only describe as it was like a scene out of Passion for Angling.
You got a massive hair hanging out the side of your nose. Big long one, grey one, like Gandalf.
No.
I'm joking. Come on, let's go. Well, we raced down the hill, as you've seen on the GoPro, and we don't know much about this canal. One thing that we do know, we've come to realise that you've got a couple of different styles of canals here in Belgium. You've got rural canals that don't get used anymore, old ones that once upon a time were industrial canals, but it looks like, you know, there's no boat traffic anymore, and they've just been left like this one, just to nature. So they're all overgrown, very snaggy, doesn't get stocked with fish from what we're told, and they're just left to sort of blend back into the environment. And then you've got the other canals, which you would have seen us bait up on the way to this one, which is really big and industrial. And mate, it's incredible, Mark, isn't it? Like, we're used to boats going through canals with lock gates, all very manual. These guys, oh mate, the industrial boat lifts are something to be seen, and maybe I'll try and get a bit of drone footage of one of them. I mean, they lift boats, Mark, don't they, out of the canal.
Huge boats,
up to a couple of 100 feet in the air.
Yes.
And then send it back on its way. So they're the industrial busy canals, which I think have replaced these old ones. But yeah, you can see we're on a really intimate little number here. Plenty of fallen in trees, snags. I think they've been locked on purpose to encourage nature and wildlife.
Yeah,
and over there,
this one's like 200 years old.
200 years old, they reckon, yeah. The carp obviously aren't 200 years old, but over there there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 terrapins sunning themselves.
Yeah,
just
cool.
looks like Jurassic Park. It's in a lovely valley, bluebells on the side of the mountain, and yeah, Chris tells us there's not many fish in any of these old canals, a handful in each section. And of course, over the years, that's just going to dwindle away to even less because, as I said, nobody's stocking them. But we're here, and what we're going to do is fish over to the far bank, trying to tuck our rods right into some snaggy areas, isn't there, Mark?
Yeah, there's some overhanging trees and that, and we're going to go around and check it out, make sure it's all nice and safe, and there's no woodwork under the water, and try and pick a few areas and maybe get some rods over there.
And pole them over, aren't we?
Yeah, mate.
Luckily for us, Chris has got a very long pole.
Yeah.
I brought my pole, but it was nowhere near the length I needed. Needed a couple of extra extensions.
Belgians are known for it, aren't they? Long poles. Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Mate, I've never fished with a pole, so this is going to be really interesting for me. And yeah, being able to tuck those baits right in underneath the canopy is going to be, yeah, mate, new territory for me. But yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
Well, first night, second night. There was a river last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, you lose track of time here. Gonna get these rods out, have some dinner, have a beer, and hopefully, next time we check in, we'll have a carp.
Hey, you going in with the yellows?
Yes, these little yellow numbers.
Yeah.
These, you haven't got smell-o-vision on here, but these are the new ones that we've been playing around with, aren't they? They absolutely stink. Spicy, yet sweet. Oh yeah, they honk, and you're not going to see it, but as soon as you dip these in the water, the oil just disperses from them.
Yeah.
And the flavour leakage is incredible. So little low hinge, soft boom, quite soft over there, and a bloody strong hook. So I don't usually fish this rig, but I'm told that you want to be fishing pop-ups because there's lots of leaf litter over the other side.
Yeah, you can see it.
So you want to kind of be up off the bottom, up off that gassy old sort of chod. So yeah, see how we go. You never know. Might have an old black, crusty old Belgium carp.
Lovely.
Next time we check in.
Just get out, mate.
Yes.
Right, here we go. Here's my lead-in rod. I've got a lead on the end here. Now I'm fishing over there. Hopefully you can see that. But I want to make sure there's no twigs or branches where I'm dropping. So I'm going to go around there and try and squeeze through and poke this rod through and have a little feel about, a little donk. Right, let's give it a go. Right, so the bivvy, you might be able to see it just through here, just through there on the far bank, and then we've got this little hole down through here, and I reckon I can get a bait right in tight, but I need to check to make sure there's no twigs or any, there's no obstacles down there, so it's all undercut, I can see that, but I think this is where they're coming through, this is where they live. There we go, spot number 2. Right, all these snags look all undercut, so there's no branches in the water, which is good. So, nice and safe.
Well, I haven't even got the second rod out, and this one's just literally ripped off the rest. And I've even got the bait in my mouth. Well, I'm going to put on the second rod.
Oh, well done, mate. What a result this is. Well, not a result just yet, it's not in the net.
It's not a huge carp, but it's a bite.
Mate, they're all very, very welcome at this stage, aren't they?
I wish you would have seen the take.
Mate, I did. I was running up with my bivvy. I saw your rod like pointing upwards.
Yeah, it was.
Go on, in you go. Well done, mate.
Yeah!
Yay!
Our first Belgium carp.
Yes! Oh, mate, well done.
Oh, we'll pop in there.
Yeah.
I'll just change positions a bit. Got it.
Turn up just a touch. That's it, that's it.
Right,
Yeah,
you happy?
yeah. Well, there's you and a fish in frame, so.
That's all we need to worry about. The rest will be in focus, mate.
Off you go. Thank you very much.
Well, mate, I like the way lunch has stopped play
but I don't like your plate is the towpath.
Mate, it's right. Yeah, it's nice and clean here. So clean you could eat your dinner off it. And I am. That's right.
Mate, I've never seen anything like it. I've heard about bucket lids, you know, all the usual makeshift plates and cutlery, but you're eating straight off the towpath.
Straight off the path, mate. It's nice and warm, this tarmac now. It warms the pita bread up.
But we have got smoked salmon, mushroom, egg omelettes.
Yeah.
To celebrate our first Belgian carp.
Winning.
As you do, mate, as you do. Oh, brilliant. What's it say?
Got 2 toppers, haven't I?
Go on.
2 toppers.
Oh, no. Yeah, lovely.
That's good.
Well, the afternoon soon melted into the evening, and as we got the rod sorted, we knew we were in for another cold night. The nights were frosty and the days were really warm with real high pressure. Certainly not ideal carp fishing conditions, but what had become evident is these old stretches of canal hardly contained many carp. I think the old carp that resided in here were probably past their best. Not big by today's standard, old yes, and when they were gone, with a zero stocking policy, I hate to admit it, these old canals would probably just blend back to nature. But that didn't stop us dreaming of just one more old crusty canal carp to the album before we had to go in the morning. But what we didn't anticipate was a night full of action.
Well, this is not what we want. Sadly, this is the... Well, how many have we had, Mark?
Oh,
6?
Yeah, at least.
You've seen how difficult it is getting those baits out in the pole, and yeah, they're just, every time we put them out within 5 or 10 minutes, they're hanging themselves. I mean, the bait's working. Clearly they
loving the bait.
clearly like these pop-ups, but they are little tiny soap bars that are giving us a real big headache. Fishing sort of hinge diff links, and I even had one on double tiger nut, so I thought I'd try to put some tiger nuts on to try and stop them. Nothing's stopping them. They're, well, you can see the size of them, they're very small. But that's 6 in the last few hours.
Yeah, at least.
And we're poling up to the other side, and it's the light's on, but it's pitch black now, so it's a right nightmare. Not what we want. But it's all part of it, and we'll carry on working, and hopefully carp will come along.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Oh,
right, let's get you back. Tench-proof, I hope. Bloody things. That's a breakfast of champions there, mate.
Lovely, yeah.
Let's have a look what you got.
Look at that, we've got blueberries, raspberries, banana, Greek yoghurt, and then we've got some like nuts.
Honey.
Yeah.
No honey?
No, sweet enough with the old blueberries and that, I reckon, but I know you like your honey.
Yeah, nice, mate.
But mate, yeah, it's all good. We're going to probably move, aren't we, today, I think, Mike?
In a minute, I reckon.
In a minute, yeah, we've give it 48 hours, or coming up to 48 hours in this area. And you know, it's a good set of snags, and I'm sure at certain times of the year there's a lot of fish here. I just feel if there's fish here, we'd have caught them. You know, we've caught numerous tench.
Had a dozen tench now.
Yeah, at least. So everything's presented with right up under the canopy where you would expect them to be. I'm sure if they were here, mate, we'd have had an occurrence and caught one. So yeah, it's time to up sticks, I think. We'll have a little look about, won't we? And we've already prepped maybe an area, a lockdown from here.
Yeah.
You sneaked off and put a little bit of bait in last night, so you haven't got a lot to go on because we're not seeing fish or hearing fish or anything like that. It's very quiet. It's a very low stock. So.
And the water clarity is like chocolate.
It is, yeah. They had loads of rain like we have in England. They've had the same over here. So all the canals are carrying a bit of colour, which is not helping our cause, unfortunately. Yeah. But
I've heard many tales of people coming over here, seeing them. You can spot them. You know, the location is all done with your eyes, which is obvious. You know, the signs are there, and you can fish for what you see.
It's lovely, isn't it?
But no, not in a minute. It's like chocolate. All the canals are like chocolate brown, so can't see anything.
No, that's it. And it is, you know, it is still cold. We're getting some light frosts, aren't we, on the night? So it's, you know, we're not into warm water at the moment. So, you know, but it's fine. We'll move on, won't we? And try another stretch. That's all we can do. See what happens.
Is it fishing?
Yeah. He was fishing.
No bait.
Well, I've just reeled the rod in, and as you would have seen last night, I tried to put some anti-tense rigs on, so some big, thick fluoro D rigs. And if you look at that, we didn't anticipate that. There are crayfish in here too. And we've been crayed really badly. That was obviously a bottom bait with a tipper on top. Yeah, and it's almost gone. Mark actually reeled in with no bait on, so yeah, that's another dynamic we hadn't experienced. So I don't know how long Mark's been fishing for with no bait, but sadly there's crayfish and tench, so not two nuisance species you probably don't want to be catching, not on limited time.
I'm going to load the van, and you reckon there's a little ditch of water that you've seen up round the back of the canal that you're going to go and have a look at before we leave, right?
Yeah. Some. I had a quick look on the bike, and there was some carp there. So I don't know. They look quite small, but I'm going to go out there with a rod and just for an hour and just have a little go and see what happens. You never know.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah. Nice to get a little Belgian fish.
Oh, look at all this.
I know.
Come on, let's get on the road.
Right, let's go. No. Yeah, we got one. Come on. Oh my God. Look at all those branches out there. I can't get the rod up high enough. Come on, mate. Easy. Look at that. Oh well, a bit of fun. Thank you, mate. See you later. Right, let's let him go. Go on, mate. Off you go. Right.
Well, we left the old canal, and the first stop was the industrial spot where we baited yesterday. Another 5 kilo of bait with the Cobra spoon, and once again we left that bait to do its job. As for today, we had no idea where we were going to fish. One thing we did know, it was going to involve a lot of walking, and hopefully by the end of that day we'd find a spot to settle in and do the night.
Well, there's a reason why we bought the flash with added horn. And that's because we can get around the canals a lot quicker. We can look at many different spots. We can pre-bait and hopefully be back to the van pretty sharpish.
Lots of walking.
Mate, my feet are actually hurting.
Yeah.
God, not built for walking these vans, are they?
Yeah, we're just walking canal after canal after canal at the moment, but unfortunately for us, look at the clarity of the water there, if you can pick that up, but the clarity of the water is just all like chocolate, can't see anything. There we go, Chef Mike.
Caught me with a mouthful, mate.
That's alright, look at all this. This is pit stop, side of canal.
Eating off of concrete?
Needs must, mate.
Yeah.
Needs, otherwise just don't eat, do you? Just walk all day and don't eat.
Mate, that French guy just looked at us. We've got sandwiches on the concrete.
Yeah.
You're making a sandwich on top of a a fluffy water bottle cover because that was the first thing to hand out the van.
Yeah.
And mate, I don't know what we look like. Imagine if we were doing this at home in the middle of a car park. It just looks a bit strange.
It does look odd.
Yeah, no plates. Friendly bacteria.
Oh mate, that filled a hole though. Thank you very much. We love this. Think we'll get on. Reckon I can make another one out of that.
Oh mate, plenty in there.
Yeah, one each there, isn't there?
Mm.
Yeah, good enough. Well, this is the area that I fancy for tonight. Got Mike, obviously he's fishing at the top there, and I'm going to come down to this area and I want to fish out into this part of the canal here, which is probably sort of, I don't know, 60 yards from where I'm going to set up. Now, what's really, really important is I could just fish the rod along the bottom all the way out into the pond or out into the canal, but I have a line going all the way through, and there's lots of debris down here, bits of rocks, and being that it's a barbecue area, things probably get chucked in. So makes sense to washing line it down to this area, and I've got no lines in the water. The fish can move up and down, they're not going to be impeded. It doesn't cut Mike off or anything like that. And it means I can come down here, flick the rods in, one in sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 meters out from the bank, just on the, where there's like a gravelly slope, and then you hit the silt, which is the main bed of the canal. And I want this bait to be just into the silt. So the reason for that is I don't want to come onto the gravel because there'll be crayfish, and if there's crays, they obviously can whittle down the bait. So I want to just go into that silt, and that crossover between gravel and silt, generally you tend to get a lot of food build up in that area anyway. So I'm going to put one out there, say only a quarter of the way over, and then the other one I'm going to put at least half the way over in the main bed, the silty area. And I've already led it about, it's nice and silty. It's about, I don't know, it feels about 14 foot deep, so perfect. So this is the rig that's going out, nothing too complicated. A nice 3.5 ounce flat lead, so that'll lay on the silt nicely. And then we've got hook bait, Atlantic heat in this case, a nice strong hook, big size too, some big fish in here, so we're told, and a nice stiff hook link. And that is it. So right, let's get them out there and I'll set it all back up. Already got one rod in position, which I've put out about halfway, and this one is going to go about, I don't know, 20 yards, something like that. Not even, 15, 20 yards. Comes back on itself. Boom. That touched down nice and softly, so I know that's on the silt, just where I want it. Right, and now, put this over there. Right, so this is the washing line setup. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of this before, but this is how I do it. So a load of pole elastic round there, because I didn't have anything else, I had to improvise. So we've got the line going out, and I just have that just ever so slightly slack, so that can sink down and go along the bottom, so we're not having a tight line. And then what I've done, I've put a little loop there of fluorocarbon with a little knot on the end, and that means I can pull this and get my loop nice and tight in underneath it. So I'll make the loop a little bit smaller, there we go. So I pull that out, there we go, look, there's your loop. I just pull that round so it's out the way. There we go, perfect. I'll take this loop round so he's nice and neatly out the way there. There we go, so there's the loop there. Now, depending on how strong the wind is, and it's due to get quite a bit windy tonight, so a little trick that I do is just to get a bit of grass, just put it in there, and pull that down, there. See that? Lovely, that's enough, gives a little more tension that I can pull against when I walk the rod up there. And it just means that it won't pop out the clip in the middle of the night when it's windy. So there it is. And then we're going to walk a tight line all the way back then and set the rod up. So we'll do that now. Right, there we go, that's sorted. I've already put a line of bait going across the canal. And all I've got to do now is set this rod up and we're fishing. Right, so that's the rods done. Light is going to be fading fast, so I'm going to have to get these fishing. Put in about, I don't know, a kilo and a half maybe of Atlantic and Cremino, and it's I think it's really important on these canals because no features. These fish are going to be moving up and down. You've got to give them a reason to tip up, and you won't do that on 5 or 6 baits, little spot fishing. You need a bit of bait. So kilo and a half's gone out, good spread. Any fish coming over that are going to go down hopefully, and I'll stop them. So that's the plan. Right, so I have the clutches fairly tight, and then I'm bending the rod tip round as much as I dare. So all the lines out of the water, really important. And then you put your bobbin on. Now it's going to be nice and tight at the top here, because when that comes out the clip, we're going to get a savage drop back, and then we'll get the take. So it's all set up. When you get a drop back, that's going to ping down, and that's going to register the bite, fingers crossed. So that's all sorted, that's all set. Right, ready now to set up for the night.
Barbecue time.
Yes, barbecue time, and we've got lots of meat, which is it's going to throw out my vegetarian diet, but
It's not moaning.
we're on holiday though. We're on holiday.
holiday.
We're on
We're on
holiday.
holiday.
Right, meat it is.
Life on the road.
It is, mate. No, it's good. Can't beat a little bit of barbecue, can you? After all the walking we've done today.
Do your feet hurt?
Yeah, they do. They ache a little bit. My calves, particularly. I don't know why my calves hurt a lot.
Well, it's Wednesday, mate, and we are trying to fathom up a plan. Tonight's a bit of potluck, isn't it? We know there's a big one in here.
Yeah, we know this stretch has got a couple of big fish. So yeah, why not? Why not? It's a big stretch though, isn't it? It goes on quite a long way. Don't know how many's in here, but so yeah, we'll stay here tonight, have some nice food, and then tomorrow we're gonna go over to the
Big industrial canal.
the big canal that we've been putting bait into now.
Yeah.
For 3 days?
It's seen 5 kilos of bait for 3 days scattered over, the areas we're going to fish.
Yeah, I think, mate, if they're, you just never know, do you? They could just turn up and it could be amazing, or we could go over there and blank, but we don't know until we go and put a rod in the water.
Well, as I got my rod sorted, we were now on our 3rd stretch of canal. We were moving almost daily, and what it did do is it kept the session really fresh. We were often met with new views, new senses of anticipation, and a whole fresh outlook on a new bit of canal. And this one was no different. As I nestled in for tonight, the barbecue fizzled out, and what dawned on me was just how dehydrated we were. We'd walked another 20,000 steps, a ridiculous amount of miles on foot, and I was feeling the pain. I was really dehydrated. So I sat back, refueled with a couple of litres of water, and once again fell asleep full of anticipation. Only this time, we were both quietly confident that something was going to happen come morning.
Look at the colours on that, mate.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
How can I do, mate? Yeah, lovely. Look at him. That one will do, won't it? Cracker, mate. Oh, so happy to get off the mark. Didn't know what to expect last night, and this one rattled off in the small hours. Lovely dark common, beautiful.
That's it. Lovely, Mark.
I could do.
That's a man with a happy face.
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We've been done a lot a lot of looking, a lot of walking, and didn't know what to expect, but yeah, nice to drop on and luckily get one. So
A memory maker, mate.
it's an absolute memory, yeah, absolutely.
Mate, it's not even funny. Like, we've had crayfish on that disused canal, loads of little tench, come here last night, bearing in mind we've got limited time, we're only dropping on here for a night, and I've just lifted a rod out, same as you did this morning. Look at that.
I know.
Look at that.
Look at this.
Is that focusing all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, look at nothing.
Look at nothing. It's
Because
gone.
there's nothing there.
It's gone.
That was a lovely little hinge stiff link with a beautifully balanced pop-up, and I've reeled in, because you reeled in this morning and had no hook on the end. We were like,
Yeah.
what is that? Like, completely baffled.
My braid had been like eaten through.
And you said, go and check yours. Well, lo and behold, I haven't been fishing either. Speaking to Chris, once again, putting the feelers out to our Belgian friend Chris, muskrats.
And what are they, Mike? They're like a little beaver type.
Little hamstery beaver thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, tench, crayfish, now muskrats.
Oh, mate.
What's next?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What's next on the tick list?
Maybe a koi pew.
Or, yeah, maybe hooking a massive barge.
Yeah, we haven't looked a boat yet.
And, mate, disaster. So that was a waste of a night.
I'm gonna beat you! I'm gonna beat you! I'm gonna beat you!